Hey everybody, it's Sam here at Moxie Mama. I've got a little different setup going on tonight. I'm hoping everybody can see. I have my beverage here and I'm trying these out for the first time instead of wine. These are called Trulies and it's like little flavored seltzer water, and it's for those of us who are like counting carbs and whatever that kind of crap is. So quite tasty, and this is how I'm fueling for the evening. So cheers to everybody. Thank you for joining me, being patient with me after my long hiatus from Winey Wednesdays, trying to get through summer and school and everything else. Unfortunately, we're revisiting a topic that we did talk about a couple months ago, and I realized I had more to say about it, and some things happened this week that I will share with you guys, and we'll kind of go through it. So we're going to talk about bullying here at Moxie Mama tonight, and specifically, though bullying is rampant and it's everywhere, I specifically want to talk about a phenomenon. Sorry, I'm having some trouble over here on the Facebook side, people. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. The kind of bullying I want to talk about specifically is what I call mom bullying. This is, no, it's just a big topic. So we have talked about bullying before. I hope, of course, and all of us do, that as adults, as mothers, as the primary educators of our next generation, that, and maybe even as entrepreneurs and certainly as businesswomen, that we have grown beyond bullying. And what I keep realizing is that sadly we're not. I am sliding face first into 50 in a couple years, and I really thought we would be beyond it. Certainly there have been episodes in our whole lives as children. I've run into a couple people, not a ton in my life, who were childhood bullies who kind of carried over into adult life, which just kind of boggles my mind, and you try to let it roll off your back. I did a post a couple weeks ago about body image and body positivity, and walked through kind of my journey with you guys to tell you that. So again, we hope that we've grown beyond all this bullying by the time that we are, 40 plus. We have a growing epidemic of grown-ass bullies here in cyber world, in the United States. Really, it's worldwide. While I focus here at Moxie Mama on women and moms and those kinds of issues, it's really rampant everywhere. Internet trolls, body shamers, gaslighters. If you're not familiar with what that is, I talked about that the last time we talked about bullying. I call women gaslighters those like high achieving women who make you feel like shit when you can't get it all done yourself. So, if you've been volunteering and working and doing a ton of stuff and you need a day with a pint of ice cream and some repeats of CSI, that's the woman who's like, really, you can't just kind of get up and go do things and be fit and whatever it is. They make you feel crazy because you can't get it all done, because there's something that must be wrong with you. So that's where I kind of define those gaslighter bully moms. What offends me more than anything about the adult woman bully or the mom bully is that there is no group that I can think of that this is worse suited for. Women in our country and worldwide have fought for ages to get where we are. The Sisters of Suffrage, 100 150 years ago, really fought arm in arm across the world for voting rights, for women are still fighting for, equal pay and equal employment opportunities. And in other nations, there are women who are really fighting for their safety so that children, little girls, can't be sold off into marriage and things like that. And it seems like this resurgence of bullying is coming from this bizarre, this very, very bizarre place, and that sisterhood seems to be suffering a little bit. I have a lot of notes here, guys. I had a lot to say. So if I've talked about this before, why am I talking about it again? Why did it come back up again, Sam? Had a couple of people actually message me that. Didn't we talk about this a couple months ago? I have been given permission to share this story. A very, very dear childhood friend of mine this week had a case of cyberbullying that I asked her permission to share this story because I was in a hella rage over this. It is the most offensive and dumb, stupid thing that I've ever heard. And my friend was just handled it so beautifully. So I've asked her permission to share this, and she very kindly said I may share her story. So this friend of mine shared a Facebook post a couple days ago from another mom from her children's school. My friend's girls and this woman's daughters were friendly at one point. They were kind of acquaintances, social media friends. You know how that is. Both families were at the neighborhood pool this weekend, and the pool was not crowded. There were very, very few patrons there, as everybody noticed, and so it was kind of quiet. My friend had been in the pool playing with her daughters, and her husband was there, and they were having a great time, and they left. Shortly thereafter, my friend became aware that this other woman who had been at the pool shared this post, and it said, "My daughter is swimming in the shallow end. Not many people here. I did spot a beached whale baking in the sun." I want to pause here for a minute, and I want you guys to really, really let that sink in and think about that. A mother sat at the pool and publicly shamed another mother who was playing with her children. A mother chose to ignore her children in the pool and play on Facebook and aggressively body shame a mom who was doing what moms should be doing, which is playing with their kids in the pool, at the pool. I'm so angry. So my friend, full of grace, never shared the name of this woman, never exposed her, rose above this post and opted to share it, though she was embarrassed for very, very good reasons. What she said is that while it did hurt her deeply, it shocked her, it cut her to the quick, in her words. She felt embarrassed, though she shouldn't be because she's a beautiful woman. She pointed out that she is strong. She has a great job. She has a wonderful husband. She has these beautiful kids and great friends and wonderful family surrounding her and a strong community, a really great tribe. So while she is very strong and it hurt her, what if she wasn't? What would that have looked like if she wasn't strong? And this is why I'm wearing the shirt that I'm wearing, Make Empathy Great Again. So we're going to really talk about what that should look like and why this is such a problem. To my friend's point, she said, what if she had just had the lowest day of her life? What if she had lost her job? What if she had found out that a parent was terminally ill? What if she was suffering with clinical depression and her medication was off? We've heard the stories. We all know about what happened with Kate Spade recently, Anthony Bourdain, a couple years ago, Robin Williams. What if this had happened to her on the worst day of her life? The woman who posted this clearly had no empathy for what was going to happen to her, did not think for a moment what the consequences of that might be. So what might have been her motivation to do it? To make herself feel better. If you can't have empathy for someone, if you must cut them down, if you must cut down another woman to empower yourself, it is because of an ugliness on your insides. I want to be clear about that. If you are taking advantage to get a laugh, to gain a following, to build a business, to do whatever it is, by shaming people, by making fun of them, by cutting them down, by spreading gossip, that is on you and what is missing in you. Now, I know my tribe doesn't do that, and I thank you guys for that. I thank you guys for sharing in this really positive community, but I want you guys to take this stuff further. I want you guys to go back to your own individual communities and really think about this and share with your sisters how we can make this better, because it's up to us, guys. It is up to us. Think always what the response might be in the other person. If you are a mom like this hateful woman with the black soul, and you are tempted to make fun of someone, think about whether or not it could be his or her worst day ever. Think about how you would react if someone spoke of your child that way. Ironically, it came back to me after I spoke with my friend. She still hasn't told me who it is, but that this woman is constantly calling people, calling the police, notifying the school that her children are being bullied. And I would say that sadly her children are seeing a whole lot of it themselves because she's putting it out there. I'm not saying that it's her fault that her kids are being bullied, but she isn't in sending that kind of energy out to other people. She is not attracting that kind of positive empowerment for herself and for her children. So I'm going to go back to her for a minute and talk about these motivations. And I'm going to say this: what the fuck is wrong with someone who does that? What is wrong? Why? Why does someone choose to publicly shame and embarrass an acquaintance? The mother of children at her children's school. What possesses someone to do that? Why are you doing that and not? Why is your face down here and you're not reading a book? You're not in the pool with your children. You're not enjoying a snack. You're not staring at the birds in the sky. There are 5 million other things you could be doing. Trying to make things better or just not worse. But she chose to make it worse. One of the comments on the thread, and I thank my friend Kevin for saying this. His comment was, and this is sad to me, he said, "I've stopped suggesting that people should be nice. And I'm resigned to just hoping that people will not go out of their way to be mean. So we've lowered the bar that far that we'd be satisfied going about our days with people just not being mean, not going out of their way to shame us, to humiliate us, to yell at us, to tell us we're stupid, to tell us our beliefs are wrong." That's where we are because of this. Did shaming my friend make this woman feel better? Did she get a laugh from people she knows, people who saw the post? Maybe. Did it empower her, or did it make her feel some kind of success? Maybe it did. Maybe she was having her worst day ever, and the only way to improve on that was to cut somebody else down. And I think that is part of the problem that we as women have. I think it's probably men. I'm not a man. I don't want to speak about that. Women should be lifting each other. We as mothers of the next generation need to reach back into that sisterhood of the generations before us and lead by example. We desperately need to show both our daughters and our sons that treating people this way is not okay. In educating our children in that way, I'm going to go a step further. Not only should you not be a bully, but one of the questions that I asked on my Instagram this week was, honestly, what do you do if you are witness to bullying? And I don't mean this kind of thing. I don't mean even anything this big, but let's say you're with a room full of people and someone is picking on a girl walking by in an outfit that they don't like, or they are picking on someone, a mutual acquaintance, and their level of success, or whatever it is, that they're cutting them down. How do you respond? And I admitted in all transparency that I've done both of the options that I gave the audience. Well, the options I gave the audience were, when someone is bullying in my presence, how do I respond? I laugh awkwardly and try to change the subject, kind of thing, which we've all done. And actually the majority of people who responded said that's what they do. They're not sure what to do with it. I had a lot of then follow-up messages saying, I don't know how to stop a bully, even at 40 some years old. I don't really know how to stop it. So I just kind of laugh awkwardly and hope to change the subject. A small percentage of people responded, I ask them to stop it. I step in and I say, I'm not comfortable with this. One of the examples that was given to me, actually several of the examples, were about workplace bullying, where unfortunately women are often very brutal and use the shoulders of their sisters to stand on to advance themselves, which is unfortunate. But several women responded to me that if they see workplace bullying towards somebody else, that they will report it. They will advocate for a peer when they don't necessarily stop it right there in their tracks. I would like to aspire to be the person that will always stop it dead in their tracks. Why? To challenge somebody. Why? Why are you doing that? Why can't you let somebody live their own best life? Whatever that looks like. It may not look like your best life. But if they are doing something that empowers them, that excites them, they're wearing something that makes them feel beautiful, why did you feel the need to go out of their way? So that's a charge I want to give to you guys. As you kind of go out there and show your kids. So don't accept bullying to yourself. Stand up for yourself, but also stand up for somebody else. Let your kids see that you are willing to do that and advocate for someone at a grassroots level. It doesn't have to be a huge heroic thing. Sometimes it can be, just helping somebody out who's having a bad day. Personally, I love to see women win. I love to see women win. I'll admit to pangs of jealousy at some point, at different times, particularly in direct sales. And I'll give an example in a minute here. When someone I know has something great happen to them or they succeed, I do cheer for them. If there is that pang of jealousy, it is jealousy. There isn't resentment. And so here's what I mean by that. Jealousy comes out as, oh my God, I'm so happy for your success. That's amazing that you won your work trip to Cancun or wherever it is. I'm so excited for you. I would love to win a work trip. I'm so jealous. Now, what I take from that is, if I really want to win a trip to Cancun for my work, I'm going to go find some way to do that. I'm going to let it fuel me. Envy is different. Envy is where that resentment comes in. Envy sounds like this. Ugh, I can't believe she won that stupid trip. If I have to hear one more stupid thing about that stupid trip to Cancun that she got from selling lipstick, shampoo, vitamins, nutrition shakes, I don't care what it is. You know, I can't believe she just asked her friends to buy stuff from her and she won this stupid trip and now I've got to cheer for her. That, my friends, is envy. That you resent someone else's success. You can't just be happy for them. And figure out, if it's something you want, how to get it yourself. So, what can we do to stop the cycle? As I mentioned earlier, you know, if you hear someone making those jokes, even if you laugh awkwardly, try to stand up and say, you know what, guys, I'm just really not comfortable with this. She's a great girl. He's a great guy. It's a bad energy. We're bringing a bad energy. And I promise you, you are going to be in a better mood if you can clear those cobwebs out of your world. If you look for a tribe of women who doesn't do that, who builds each other up, it will make you feel so much better. I'm going to try to link the shirt. Somebody just asked where they can get this shirt. You will see, I ordered this from an overseas company and it kind of all ran together. I will try to post a link a little bit later, either in stories on Instagram or somewhere on a post, and on my Facebook. I'll try to find it somewhere so that you guys can get your hands on it, because I think it's pretty awesome. Another thing that we can do to stop the cycle of this kind of bullying is go out of your way and compliment someone. You know, we will go out of our way if somebody walks by that we roll our eyes at or we prejudge. But do we go out of our way to compliment them? You know, sometimes it feels weird. Sometimes it feels weird to walk up to somebody and say, you know, oh my God, I love what you're wearing. I think you've got great style, whatever it is. When I try to put this into practice, it's amazing the smiles that I get. It feels really good to me. It's selfish. It's selfish on my part to go out of my way to do that, because it just makes my day better. If I can make somebody else smile or laugh, it feels really good. Honestly, if you can find a unique characteristic to someone, is it someone who looks different from you? You know, compliment something that's really unique about them and really different, because sometimes they might feel comfortable rocking it. Sometimes they might feel like it is the thing that makes them look different. And, you know, maybe honoring that, you know, really, really makes them kind of stand up taller and feel proud about what they're doing. So complimenting people is a great way to break that cycle of bullying. Know that everyone has a story that has a lot of baggage with it. Back to my friend's comments on her own post. What if it had been her worst day ever? What if that post had gone up on her worst day ever? Before you open your mouth, think about whether or not it could be that person's worst day ever. Similarly, if you know it's someone's best day ever, don't question it. Just get excited for them. Be happy for them. You know, I'm going to tell you guys, in starting this blog and in starting, you know, truly venturing into my own business, there are women that I came across who were like, why would you do that? Are you sure you should do that? That's really hard. I don't know why people do that. Isn't it going to feel narcissistic? Isn't it going to feel this? I was so excited to do this. This is something that I had been looking to do for so many years. And there were a handful of people who responded with, I'm not really sure why you're doing that. Okay, don't say anything. Just, if you see that someone is really excited and having their best day ever and living their best life, let them live their best life. It is, in fact, their life. Their life. So honor people's story and think of that first. Respect someone else's choices. Respect their time. Time bullying is something that I mentioned a little bit the last time we talked about this, but if somebody says no to you, that's enough. That's enough. Hey, can you go to dinner Friday? No, I'm afraid I can't. Why? Don't ask them why. They can't. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they want to stuff their face with a pizza. It doesn't matter. When it's important, they'll be there. So respect people's time. If they need to set a boundary for something, maybe it's because of a goal they have. Maybe it's prioritizing their kids. Again, maybe it's just they don't feel like it. And that's a perfectly acceptable answer. No is an acceptable answer. Respect that. And when you see other women and men not respecting time, call them out on it. Encourage collaboration between equals. If you are a veteran in whatever it is. So let's say, you're a veteran mom. You end up with a friend who's got little kids and your kids are more grown. Mentor her. Help her find her own tribe. And access some people who will empower her. You can work with her, but she's going to need people who are in similar circumstances to her. Don't judge her choices. My God, we know it starts with like breastfeeding. People will judge and make comments and be rude about, you had a C-section or you breastfed. Or, really? That's crap. People will make their own choices and, but try to mentor those young moms because we really all remember how hard that was. And again, try to show some empathy for that. Remember what that felt like. And if you haven't been a mom and something like that happens, or someone from a different generation, just remember that when you were that age, that was your biggest struggle too. Don't minimize and mentor. If you are peers, collaborate, support each other. Maybe you don't understand what your friend's business model is, but you can still support them, cheer for them, ask, how can I help you? I don't really understand your business. How can I help you? Maybe most importantly is to listen. One of my favorite public figures who played a very important part, even though it's not someone I ever met personally, in the birth of Moxie Mama. He's a public figure. And he speaks constantly about empathy. And he says, listen. Listen not just because you're waiting for your next turn to speak. Listen and really hear it and digest it. Listen with empathy. Listen to hear the whole story. I would also ask that you forgive. If someone has bullied you, try to forgive them. That does not mean you need to invite that drama into your world. It does not mean that you need to be best friends with them, but try to understand that they might be having their worst day ever, and kind of move on from it. You can call them out, you can address it, but try to move on from it and try to forgive them. Understand it's their shortcoming. Then finally, while I refuse to get political in this discussion, because it's not about politics. What's happening right now is cultural. It's from staring at our screens too much and being emboldened by that screen as armor that we can say whatever we want and be, we feel like we can tell people when they're wrong and things like that. Again, I'm not making this political, but that has definitely revealed a lot of this in the past few years. I want to add the following. Do not always insist on being right. People have differences of opinion. If someone is pervasively wrong, you do not need to attack them repeatedly, telling them how stupid they are. Don't troll the internet. Let me say this one again. Don't troll the internet. Don't put it out there. Just let it go. Walk away from it. Look up from your screens. Walk away. Go get a breath of fresh air. Put it down. If you need to turn off the news, if you need to turn off, the people who are constantly combative and bullying on your social media platforms and things like that, turn it off. Find the cheerleaders. Find the positive people. Find something to keep you busy. Love this comment that I just got over here on Instagram. Who has time to troll the internet all day? Woohoo, sister, you'd be surprised. It's pretty pervasive, and it seems to be, very, very, very angry, horrible, and it's coming from fear. I think so much of this is fear-based. I think when those kind of gremlins come out and we show that darker side of ourselves, it's fear that we're going to lose something, that something's going to be taken from us, that we're afraid. We're afraid that we won't have success. We're afraid that we will lose something of ourselves if we don't try to get better than everybody else. And that's just not true. All boats rise in high waters. That's one of my favorite sayings. All boats rise in high waters. There is enough room for everybody to have success. And so why not help other people? So I will leave you. I have a couple quotes. The universe is an amazing thing. As I've been working on this week, I've seen a lot of posts about empathy. There's a great one that my friend posted the other day. The flower in the garden doesn't resent the flower, I'm saying this wrong. The beautiful flower in the garden doesn't resent the flower next to her. They both grow, and they're both beautiful. Again, paraphrasing, I totally butchered that. But I just saw this quote today from another high school friend of mine that I actually recently reconnected with, and it was so beautiful, the timing of it. This is a quote by a gentleman. His name is Bill Bullard. I don't know who that is, but she put this quote up. The highest form of knowledge is empathy, for it requires us to suspend our egos and live in another's world. And I just want you to kind of take that away and be the woman. This is not my original thought. Go be the woman who fixes another woman's crown without ever telling her it was crooked in the first place. Make empathy great again. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight on my little rant. I only had my one little sip of Truly, and now I'm so parched that I'm going to have another one. Does anybody have any comments? I had such great feedback all this week in the questions that I was asking. I heard some really, really heartbreaking stories. Unfortunately, one of the people who responded when I said, who's been like the biggest bully in your life, and one of the responses was her husband, and that kind of broke my heart. I heard stories of childhood best friends who really undermined some of the most beautiful milestones in another woman's life. It's very sad to me that at 48 and a half years old, I still hear these kind of stories. So, this is my charge. This is my mission, is to make everybody feel that they are the very best versions of themselves. And if that means that I ask you guys to approach those around you and pass that message forward and kind of live in that mission as well, this week, that's the most I can ask for. I would love it if you guys do try some of these things, going out of your way to compliment a stranger, things like that. I would love it if you would drop me a note. You can send it to my messages. You can post it on my Facebook wall. I would really love to hear from you guys and know how this resonated. I know it's not always easy to post it publicly where everybody could see it, but please drop me a message and let me know if this resonated with you, and I hope it helped. Take care. Have a great night. Cheers.